From midnight tonight, almost 2 million people in the northeast of England will be living under tougher restrictions on socialising after a sharp rise in the number of coronavirus cases. It's the biggest regional lockdown yet. The measures announced today affect 7 areas in the northeast of England: Northumberland, North Tyneside, South Tyneside, Newcastle upon Tyne, Gateshead, Sunderland and County Durham. The new restrictions for those areas of the region will mean there'll be a ban on socialising with people outside your own household or support bubble. There'll be table service only in restaurants, and pubs, bars and restaurants must all close by 10 p.m. The Health Secretary, Hancock, said the government was acting after seeing concerning rates of infection in the region. These latest restrictions mean across the UK, more than 9 million people are now under some form of stricter lockdown. Our special correspondent Ed Thomas reports.
Hello, Grandma. Just to speak to you about the new lockdown rules and stuff and see what you think about it.
Lives are about to change once again.
Horrible. It's only just started sort of going out a little bit.
From South Shields to across the northeast, coronavirus cases have been rising since late August. And today, nearly 2 million people were told they'll now live by new rules.
These decisions have a real impact.
As the Health Secretary applies the brakes.
Data says that we must act now, so we can control the virus and keep people safe.
This means a ban on households mixing and pubs closing at 10 p.m.
Why has it come down to hospitality? Why are we having to pay for what other places are not following the rules?
To bring cases down?
Well, will it bring cases down? Will it do that? Because people can't come out with the friends, only people from the household, pubs won't survive. Pubs will just not survive.
Isolating people in and outside of the home, I think it's crazy.
Shaun's only just reopened his barbers. Now he's checking on his grandma.
It's going to have an effect on your mental health, isn't it?
Well, of course, because I won't be able to see grandchildren, my great-grandchildren.
But just to be clear, will you go and see your gran?
At a massive distance to keep her safe, but I've always been doing that.
Even though that's against these new rules?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I feel like she needs that.
Most here accept the new bans, but there's still confusion and questions of trust.
Closing the pubs at 10 o'clock as if the virus doesn't exist at any time prior to them closing.
Move north to the villages of Northumberland. It's a quieter pace of life, with fewer cases of coronavirus. But the same rules apply here. And once again, 3 generations of this family will be separated.
How much do you rely on your support from your mum?
I'm a single parent, massively. She's a great support system for me.
So midnight tonight, everything changes?
I know, again.
So I don't know why we've been included.
But then what can we do? Nothing.
It's awful because I'm so close but can't see them. That's what gets us. But I don't even want to think about it yet.
And in the heart of Newcastle's student area, bars and restaurants will close at 10 p.m. tomorrow. The fear is as students return, the virus will come with them.
So what do you think about these new restrictions?
I don't really think they're going to make a difference, and I don't think there's any point in them if we've got schools and everyone's packed together.
Do you think these new restrictions are the right thing to do?
I'd say so. When it is busy.
Eleanor, Kate and Neve are about to start their 2nd year at Newcastle University. They found lockdown hard and now face these new restrictions.
This is actually a 7-person house and one girl's not moved in yet, but we can't go anywhere with 7 of us. So even that's really awkward. Yeah.
And you can't have your friends here and you can't go to their house?
No. We're told to go to the pubs and eat out at Help Out, and now we're being told that it's young people's fault, and it's just like, what do you want us to do, really?
This time tomorrow, these bars will be empty. Life under new rules. The public health officials say are essential to stop the rise of coronavirus cases and protect the vulnerable.
And these new rules here cover a huge part of the northeast of England, from the Scottish borders all the way down to County Durham. And what is about to happen here has been requested by the local public health leaders. Their concerns are based on infection rates. They believe they had to act now to bring the virus numbers down and to prevent the spread from younger generations to the older population. but these are a significant change to people's lives here. And tonight, right now, we don't know when these new rules will end.
Thomas, thank you. A lockdown affecting almost 250,000 people in South Wales came into force this evening. Those living in Rhondda Cynon Taff aren't allowed to leave the area without good reason for at least a fortnight, and they're banned from seeing anyone indoors who's not from their own household. Our Wales correspondent Hal Griffith reports.
Back into lockdown after just a few weeks of freedom, tonight people here are dealing with the consequences of new clusters of COVID-19. One is here in Abercynon, where members of this social club went on a coach trip together to Doncaster last week. Donna's partner was on board. She says some of the group had been tested for COVID just before the outing, but hadn't had their results.
Well, there was about 15 of them on the bus. They'd done the same as they'd done every year. They didn't take precautions because nobody had COVID. So you wouldn't take precautions. They had a bet, they had a pint, same as what happens every year. Nothing was done any different.
The spike in cases has triggered new, tougher rules, an 11 p.m. curfew and a ban on meeting anyone not in your household indoors. For Shaun, it's all deeply frustrating. She'd managed to bring all her bar staff back from furlough and even hire more workers. But now 30% of her bookings have cancelled. She blames the pubs who've not enforced social distancing.
They've just been idiots, really, and they've spoilt it for everybody, because I'd say about 90% of the business, 95% of the businesses in the area, they're all really trying, and they're all trying their hardest to do everything by the book, and then you get the minority that spoil it for everybody.
While no one is meant to leave here without good reason, some are being encouraged to arrive. A new university term starts at this campus on Monday. Students are being told it is safe to move in, even though most staff have to work from home.
If we have fewer staff here, only essential staff on any one day at any one time, that makes the campus more socially distant, and it's a way of helping to protect our students.
This whole community will now be in lockdown until at least October. The fear is that could last even longer if cases continue to rise. Hywel Griffith, BBC News, Pontypridd.